The New York Knicks might not get a cleaner path to the finals than the one right in front of them this season. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's there. The East is wobbling, and the Knicks have a deep roster, a good superstar, and a new coach with a plan. If there's ever a year to push all the chips in, this is it. Last year, the Knicks leveled up. They never backed down. They fought through runs, erased big deficits, and stood up to the heavyweights. They knocked out Boston on the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. Literally nobody thought they would do that. And then they ran into a Pacers team that for a moment, everyone thought the Knicks could be better than. They hit crazy shots, they flipped the game late. Had they made better decisions late in the fourth quarter, they could have won that series. Either way, that's not a series where you hang your head about losing. You look at what worked, what didn't, where the margins were, and you take that data and you learn from it. Two big lessons came out of that run. The first is that the top end talent for the Knicks is real. Jalen Brunson is an all-NBA level shot maker and organizer. When the game slows down, he gets to his spots, balances patience with pace, and he handles pressure like a true mega superstar. The other lesson was that depth matters in May and June. You need more than just solid role players. You need guys that can swing a game for 6 minutes on a random Tuesday in the second round. The Pacers and the Thunder showed just how much of a difference it makes when your 9th and 10th men aren't just fillers, but real weapons. And that was a big lesson for the Knicks. As a result, they got deeper and more flexible. They didn't tear up their core, they reinforced it. They brought in Jordan Clarkson on a 1-year deal after the Jazz bought him out. Yes, he's not 2021 Jordan Clarkson anymore, but he's still a microwave. He's someone that can win you a playoff quarter by himself when the offense stalls. That's a different tool than what they had last spring. Then Yabusele signed a 2-year deal. He brings strength, shooting, and short roll passing in a body that can hold up defensively against bigger front courts. He's basically a Swiss Army knife forward who fits into the lineup next to either Cat or Mitchell Robinson. These guys are on top of the existing top 6 that the Knicks have. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, and Mitchell Robinson. Plus you can even add Deuce McBride in there, who has shown that he can hit timely shots when called upon. So now the New York depth is looking good, and they have a 9 to 10 man group that actually makes sense on paper. Last year, if Brunson or Cat had an off night, the Knicks' scoring options got thin, and it got thin fast. This year though, there are more tools at their disposal, and if there's one guy that can use all those tools, it's Mike Brown. The identity that he's pushing in camp is read and react. There's a heavy emphasis on spacing and playing quick, less scripted sets, more trust between the players, and flow on offense. He's also challenging the group. Don't break the offense when things get tough. Don't start forcing up bad shots and creating bad spacing. That's the whole point of a read and react system. It works if everybody actually reads and reacts together. This matters for 2 reasons. The first one is the Brunson and Cat synergy. In the old setup, too many times it turned into a your turn, my turn type of offense. With Mike Brown, you should see more empty corner actions, more handoffs, better ball movement, less emphasis on ISO scoring. These are small stuff, but it will keep Cat involved without forcing post-ups and just shooting threes from anywhere. And it gives Brunson easier triggers instead of relying on late clock rescue plays. The second matter is that Bridges and OG can now be used better. Mikal Bridges thrives when he gets the ball on the move, when he's driving, doing his quick pull-up, or catch and shooting as soon as his feet are set. OG Anunoby is the glue guy. He kills broken coverages, he sets screens, and he punishes switches when he gets into the right positions. A more fluid framework from Mike Brown should boost both of these guys' shot quality. They should get more opportunities to take better shots. And of course, naturally, Mike Brown on defense wants his team to defend with pride, run with discipline, and play as a unit. Because remember, his reputation is still defense first. His Sacramento Kings squad played really well on defense. And here on the Knicks, he's got real stoppers. Bridges is good defensively. OG is a defensive player of the year caliber type player. Mitchell Robinson is a great rim protector. So the Knicks can easily toggle between switching, drop coverage. It all depends on the matchups. The bigger question though is how much can you protect Brunson and Cat in a 7-game series? That's what Mike Brown really needs to figure out. But I do believe the offense will be elite. They just have to maintain a top 10 defensive discipline if they want to make another deep run. So that begs the question, what's the best starting 5? There's a big debate around Josh Hart. He pretty much does everything at a B+ level and plays with an unlimited motor, but the spacing issues with him are real. The preferred starting 5 would be Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, and Mitchell Robinson. This lineup gives you size, it gives you rebounding, rim pressure, and enough shooting to create space. OG and Mikal can guard up or down. Cat at the 4 worked in Minnesota. He always plays great when he's next to a rim protector, especially when that guy next to him is Mitchell Robinson. He can erase all the mistakes that Cat can make. Then if Mitchell Robinson's health limits him, Yabusele can go at the 4, and then Cat at the 5 gives you more spacing. Then Deuce can come in a small ball matchup. The point is that the Knicks finally have a lot of options. Now it's all about what rotations do you use come the playoffs. There are so many options. You have Jordan Clarkson, who can be thrown in when the offense gets sticky and when you need a quick 8 to 10 points. Pair this guy with OG and either Mitchell Robinson or Cat, and he'll get you some buckets. Then you have Yabusele, who's a great tool, especially against the bigger Eastern Conference teams. He lets you stay big without losing spacing. Against small switchy groups, he's a great short roll passer to keep the ball moving. And then of course you have Deuce's minutes. This guy can come in, and if he's cooking, he's a microwave scorer. If Mike Brown leans into staggering, like playing Brunson with the second unit, maybe Cat with some of the bench guys, then New York should win the bench minutes more often than not, which was not the case last spring. The best thing for the Knicks is that the East is wide open. Think about it, 2 of the biggest roadblocks from last season for the Knicks are, at least right now, out of the picture or seriously diminished. I mean, the Pacers are still dangerous, but without Halliburton, they're not as good. That changes their whole ceiling. Then the Celtics don't have Jason Tatum. Yes, they're still well coached and can be annoying, but again, their ceiling is a lot lower. Cleveland looks like the stiffest test. Mobley's taken a leap. Donovan Mitchell is still a fantastic player. And their defense, when everyone is healthy, is pretty good. But health is obviously their biggest question. Then there are some of the more underrated, under-talked about teams like Orlando with their size and defense. The Pistons can be good if a lot of their young guys can pop. And on paper, the Sixers are always a few moves away from looking really scary on paper. But if we're being honest, none of them, at least right now, look like true contenders. The East is going to be about who's healthiest by April and who can win close games. So for the Knicks, there's never been a better opportunity. So what do they need to do to actually win the East for the first time in ages? Well, there's a lot of factors that make the Knicks dangerous. The number one is that they have a top 5 offense. Brunson and Cat give you a lot of quality. You don't have to reinvent anything. You just need to raise the floor of the average possession. Have more early actions into empty corners so the defenses can't load up. Try and get Cat more open looks. Spam more pick and rolls in the clutch. And force switches. Play quick so that the elite defenses don't have time to lock up your best players. Because when the Knicks fall into ISO ruts, that's where they start losing games. The second factor is rebounding and free throws. The Knicks can dominate the glass, especially when Mitchell Robinson's on the court and Josh Hart is flying around. Offensive boards turn cold shooting nights into wins. And then the second piece is obviously free throws. Brunson is very crafty. He will easily get you free points. Then the same thing for Cat. His strength gets a lot of freebies as well. I mean, thanks to those guys, that's how you survive going 8 for 33 from deep and still winning games. Now, of course, the Knicks are imperfect. There are some questions that need to be asked. For example, does Josh Hart start? He looks a lot better as the first sub, to be honest. He gives you instant energy, can guard 1 through 5, and he changes the tempo as soon as he comes on. Against teams that can't shoot, you can start him and really crank up the pressure defensively. Otherwise, it's probably better he comes off the bench so that your starting lineup keeps the floor spread. The other big issue is how do you hide Brunson and Cat on defense? That's going to be something that Mike Brown needs to figure out. I mean, to be honest, Karl-Anthony Towns isn't even a bad defender. He just needs to stop making silly mistakes. The guy gets into foul trouble so quickly for absolutely no reason. Then the other issue is Jordan Clarkson isn't the best defensively either. So there's going to be nights where he's not giving you much scoring wise, and he's another player that you have to hide defensively. Then of course, what if Malcolm Brogdon isn't healthy? Fortunately, someone like Deuce McBride can step up, so the Knicks have enough guards, but Brogdon needs to be healthy come the business end of the season. Although it's nice that the Knicks are not relying on him fully, he's more like a bonus, not the whole plan, but health is going to be a massive factor. Because then you have Mitchell Robinson. He has to stay on the floor, because if he's injured, you end up in bad small matchups, your defense bleeds, and you basically have no rim protector. The other issue is of course shooting variance. This team can go cold a lot. They've been able to survive it with offensive boards, but you can't always rely on that. And then lastly, end of game executions. You're not always going to be able to have a Brunson bailout, so Mike Brown needs to figure out different ways to get a bucket late in games. So what does every player on the Knicks have to do for them to finally be able to maybe lift some silverware? Well, Brunson has to keep the efficiency in the mid-range. He has to bump his free throw rate slightly higher and trust his teammates more by passing earlier in the clock. He's already that guy. Now it's about making the game easier for himself in May. Karl-Anthony Towns needs to foul less. He needs to be more decisive as a screener and roller. He needs to mix catch and shoot threes with scoring in the paint. And he just needs to play smarter. No silly mistakes. Bridges has to attack off the catch more. He needs to get downhill quickly and just be involved more. OG has to hit his corner threes and keep setting the tone defensively. Mitchell Robinson just has to stay healthy. Josh Hart has to shoot better. And Deuce McBride has to hit his open threes. Windows in the NBA don't stay open. This is a now or never opportunity because guys get hurt, rivals get better, your cap sheet tightens. The Knicks paid real prices to put this version of the team together. This is the squad. You have Brunson in his prime, you have Cat optimized as a stretch big playmaker, you got Mikal Bridges and OG in their sweet spot, and now there's enough bench juice to survive dry spells. Next year, when Boston get Tatum back, the Pacers get Halliburton back, and other teams like Cleveland's core gets better, the Pistons get better, Orlando gets better, the climb in the East will get steeper. So the Knicks, they gotta go all in now. Stack good possessions, grab a top seed, keep your best guys healthy, play your best basketball. Make sure you go into April with all of your issues ironed out. If they do that, they're not just one of the favorites in the East, they're a team that nobody wants in a 7-game series.